Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Savar with Palm Beach County Pickleball News, and we're here at the World Pickleball Conference and Convention in Palm Beach County, where my newsletter covers. We have over 1,400 subscribers right now. And I'm here with Seymour Rifkind, who is, I don't want to say in front of him, kind of a legend in the pickleball space. Seymour, why don't you tell us a little about your background, when you got started playing pickleball, how you got started?
Okay.
Start there.
Yeah. So I've been introduced to pickleball about 12 years ago. I had a number of friends that were fellow coaches in gymnastics. They retired to the villages. They've been telling me about pickleball probably since the 90s. But I finally went down and visited. We played some golf, tennis, skiing, and after 3 or 4 days, they finally said, "Okay, let's go play pickleball." And 5 minutes on the court, and my whole life changed. Got turned upside down.
Were you a tennis player?
I played tennis for about 30 years. Both my
Okay.
kids played tennis, so yeah, we were a tennis family. But I started late in life. I didn't start playing tennis till I was in my mid 30s.
Late in life, I started playing tennis in my early 70s.
Yeah,
Like most of my friends,
yeah.
gravitated from tennis. So you've been involved in the space. Tell us a little bit about the business side of pickleball that you're involved in.
Well, I'm not quite sure it's the business side, but it's the growing side of pickleball. Ever since I got introduced to pickleball, I immediately not only fell in love with it, but I saw so much more potential than apparently anybody else did. I thought right away it would be the most popular sport in the world, and everybody thought I was an idiot. I saw us potentially being in the Olympics. That was one of my dreams. That really started because I coached gymnastics for a number of years, and I worked with 5 Olympians and 2 Olympic champions. So
Oh boy.
I've got a lot of people that are involved, at various levels of either the International Olympic Committee or the U.S. Olympic Committee. So the dream right away was to see it as an Olympic sport. But as I traveled around the world, because I started the first teaching organization in the sport of pickleball in 2015 called International Pickleball Teaching Professional Association, or IPTPA. I recognized that there really wasn't much that was happening on the international scene back then. There was another organization called IFP, but it was
Right.
basically made up of all the same people that made up USA Pickleball. And I went out, I talked with a number of the countries. I think there were only 6 or 7 at the time, and asked if they were happy with the support they were getting, and everybody kind of laughed and said, "What support?"
Right.
And right then and there, I just said, "Well, if there was another organization that was here to serve and really try to help pickleball at the grassroots globally, would you be interested?" They all said yes, and so I immediately, got back to Chicago, which is my primary residence, and started to reach out to a number of key people that I had met in my travels with IPTPA on each continent. And within a very short period of time, World Pickleball Federation was launched. And so the biggest news, is a week ago, World Pickleball Federation merged with the International Pickleball Federation. Our goal is to get in the Olympics, and one of the most important doctrines at the International Olympic Committee is that your sport needs to be governed by one international federation
Okay.
and have the support of the pickleball community. So right now we've got over 100 countries that are members of our unified World Pickleball Federation, and we're well on our way to filling out all the documentation and everything else to get accepted into the International Olympic Committee.
Okay, that'll be a major coup.
For sure, for sure. Well,
So, do you deal with the professional level players?
so well, it's interesting. When I first started out,
Come in a little bit.
like everybody else, I basically just played pickleball. I fell in love
Right.
with the game.
Right.
So I played pickleball every day, sometimes twice a day. And back when I was playing, there were no professional
Right.
tours. If you were a 5-0, you were kind of considered a professional.
Right.
And at that time, I was very fortunate. I did get to be a 5-0 player. And, I've been on the court with all the people from back then. But,
Okay.
once I started these other organizations, I really didn't have time to compete anymore. And for about 3 or 4 years, I didn't even play pickleball. So the new crop, I'm going to say more like post-COVID,
Right.
I don't really know them. So, my work is really not at the professional area. There's two organizations that are kind of, battling there
Battling it
with
out,
APP
right?
and PPA.
Right.
And there's enough of politics going on the international scene and with the professional scene. I certainly don't need to get involved in that. I will say this, it's very important to me to keep in touch with the top players of the world. So I do try to do that. It's difficult because I don't go to tournaments, and if
Right.
you're not going to tournaments, you're not really getting FaceTime with them.
Right.
And the reason for that is, if we do get in an upcoming Olympic Games, who's going to be there? We want the best
pros,
players,
right?
right?
Of course.
So,
Well, they'll gravitate to you, I'm sure, once
well,
they find out.
I mean, it's a two-way street.
Right.
We need to cooperate and work together. I know that, Anna Lee and Ben and, all of our top players, one of their dreams is to compete in the Olympic Games. So,
Yes.
we want, especially that first Olympics or our first official World Championships, which we hope to put on within the year. We want our top players there. It's a very important, that the International Olympic Committee witnesses that not only do we have a lot of member countries, but more importantly, those member countries are going to support a world championship. They're going to come out as a team and as individuals. We're going to have a great turnout. The tournament needs to be run in a professional manner. We'll have media. We need to look like the professional sports team that we're trying to become, right?
Right. Gotcha. So you said you were off to China after the
Yeah.
show?
Yeah, after the show, my first stop is in China. I'm meeting with the Chinese government officials, where we have some partners there, where we have an IPTPA training facility, and we're trying to get pickleball into all the schools and develop training programs in all the schools in China. When I first went to China in 2017, and in 2023, we were accepted as an exhibition sport in conjunction with the Asian Games.
Wow.
And we did several exhibitions there, and the one that we did at outside of Beijing at the Water Cube. We did exhibitions at two Olympic arenas, which is extremely rare to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So, we did our main exhibition, and we had close to 5 million people tune in. It was nationally broadcast within the first half hour, and that was at the badminton Olympic arena. And then we did another exhibition for 200 invited government officials only. And at the conclusion of that and a couple of days of meetings, the government came out and published that they would have 100 million people playing pickleball within 5 years.
I think I read something about that.
Yeah, there was a big
impressive.
article that was written about that. And they're well on their way now. And all of Asia is exploding, just absolutely exploding. I'm going to China, and then from China, I'm going to Vietnam, which I opened up the first 4 courts there in 2023. Then I'm off to Malaysia, and then Seoul, Korea, and the Philippines.
Wow.
So I did quite a bit of traveling.
Great. Well, I hope you enjoy the show. This is my first one.
My first one here, too.
Your first one also?
Yeah.
Okay. It's great to meet you.
Likewise,
and,
Bob.
And I appreciate everything that you do for the sport. I love the sport. I want to see it grow.
Don't we all?
Right. So thanks again.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Take care.
You bet.
Okay.